Did you know that Mercedes Mone, formerly known as Sasha Banks, turned WrestleMania 37 into a historic milestone by headlining the event with Bianca Belair, marking the first time two African-American women headlined WWE's biggest stage? Imagine the thrill and emotional weight of living out a childhood dream and making history at the same time. Curious about how this moment reshaped her career and the world of professional wrestling? The WrestleMania 37 main event, featuring Mercedes Mone, formerly Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair, was a high-stakes, emotionally charged match that captivated wrestling fans around the world. Held on April 10th, 2021, this match was not just a battle for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but a historic moment that broke new ground in the world of professional wrestling. As the match progressed, the intensity was growing, with both stars fighting it out in the middle of the ring. The back-and-forth action kept fans on the edge of their seats. Mone and Belair executed a series of high-impact moves and near falls that showcased their technical skill and storytelling ability. The crowd's reactions reflected the significance of the match, as they were fully invested in the emotional and physical battle unfolding before them. After a series of dramatic exchanges, Bianca Belair managed to lift Mercedes Mone with her KOD and secure the pinfall victory. As the referee counted to 3, the arena erupted in cheers, and Belair was crowned the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Mone's reaction was one of respect and acknowledgement of Belair's achievement. The two women embraced in the ring, a powerful symbol of camaraderie and mutual respect. This match was more than just a wrestling contest. It was a milestone in the history of WWE. For the first time ever, two African-American women, Mercedes Mone, known then as Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair, stood in the spotlight as the main event. For years, the WWE's biggest stage, WrestleMania, had been dominated by male superstars, legends like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. Women, despite their growing popularity, were rarely seen in the headlining spots. Think about it. This was the first time in WrestleMania history where the biggest match of the night featured two black women as the main attraction. It wasn't just a fight between two athletes. It was a cultural moment that stretched far beyond the squared circle. It was about showing young black girls watching at home that they could be more than just spectators in life. They could be the stars. Mercedes herself said it was a dream she could barely even hope to achieve, something she thought was too big to even imagine when she was younger. But there she was, under the bright lights, with millions watching around the world, making history. For Mone, it was bigger than just that, though. Imagine being 10 years old, lying in bed, and dreaming about something so big, so impossible, that it almost feels unreal. That was Mercedes Mone's life when she was a kid, fantasizing about one day being in the main event of WrestleMania. It was a dream so huge, she once said, that it didn't even feel like a real goal. More like something you think about while staring at the stars, knowing deep down it's a long shot. But for Mone, that far-fetched dream came true at WrestleMania 37, and the weight of it hit her harder than any slam or submission hold ever could. When she walked into that ring, standing across from Bianca Belair, the emotions hit like a tidal wave. You could see it on her face. This was a woman who had spent her entire life in this business, clawing her way to the top, breaking barriers left and right. And now, in the biggest moment of her career, it all started to sink in. Mone has said that it felt so emotional to finally be there, and you can understand why. This wasn't just another match for her, it was the culmination of a lifetime of dedication. Dreaming about main eventing a WrestleMania is almost undreamable, she said. Like you can only dream about it on your pillow. It's one thing to dream about something when you're a kid, but it's entirely another to achieve it as an adult, and stand there realizing you've broken through a ceiling that once seemed unbreakable. The connection between Mercedes Mone and Bianca Belair during their WrestleMania 37 match was something special. It wasn't just about two athletes competing for a title. It was so much deeper than that. You could see it from the moment they stood face to face in the ring. They weren't just opponents, There was a mutual respect, a shared understanding that they were about to make history together. And for Mone, that bond with Belair was filled with emotions that went far beyond anything the wrestling world had ever seen. From the start, you could feel the intensity in the air. Mone and Belair both knew what this moment represented, not only for their careers, but for women, for African Americans, and for future generations. Mone often recalls the way Bianca looked at her just before they started the match. This powerful moment of acknowledgement between two women who had defied the odds to get to that main event. They both knew the significance of what they were about to do, and in that moment, it felt like everything else faded away. It wasn't just about winning or losing. It was about representing something bigger than themselves. Mone has spoken about how she had to hold back tears when she saw the look in Belair's eyes. The way she looked at me, I was like, "Girl, you better stop before I start bawling," Mone said, laughing. But you could tell how close she was to breaking down in that moment. It's rare to see a wrestler so openly emotional, but this match was different. Their chemistry in the ring wasn't just about wrestling, it was about telling a story. You could see the emotion in every move, every hold, and every slam. They weren't just performing for the crowd, they were living out a dream, and it showed in the way they worked together. There was a bond between them that night that went beyond competition. This match wasn't just about entertainment, it was a cultural milestone. It showed that women, especially African American women, could not only compete on the biggest stage, but also steal the show. The world was watching, and Mone and Belair delivered in a way that few ever have. Their match became a symbol of empowerment, not just for women in wrestling, but for anyone who has ever been told they don't belong in a certain space. They shattered those boundaries, showing that the wrestling world and society at large was ready for something new, something powerful. After her emotional and historic main event at WrestleMania 37, Mercedes Mone's journey took a bold turn, one that would shock the wrestling world. You'd think that after reaching such a massive milestone, headlining the biggest event in WWE, she might have been content to stick around and ride that wave. But Mone had bigger plans. Instead of staying in her comfort zone, she made a decision that sent ripples through the entire industry. She left WWE and joined AEW, one of WWE's fiercest rivals. Once she landed in AEW, it didn't take long for Mone to make an impact. She came in with the same fire, the same intensity that had made her a superstar in WWE, and fans quickly saw that she wasn't slowing down. She wasn't just there to ride on her past accomplishments. She was there to create new ones, and boy did she deliver. Mone climbed the ranks and soon found herself holding the AEW TBS Championship, a title that has cemented her as one of the top names in the company. Mone has shown that she's not just a product of the WWE machine. She's a force in her own right, capable of dominating in any promotion, and that's what makes her so special. She's constantly evolving, constantly pushing the envelope, and never settling for anything less than greatness. In AEW, she's had the freedom to push her limits, experiment with her character, and deliver matches that leave fans in awe. What's even more impressive is how Mone continues to set new standards for female athletes. In an industry that's still catching up in terms of gender equality, Mone is out there leading the charge. She's proving that women can main event, they can be the face of a company, and they can drive storylines that are just as compelling, if not more so, than their male counterparts. She's not just breaking glass ceilings, she's shattering them. She's always been a record chaser, and as AEW TBS champion, she's proving that she's far from done carving out her legacy in this sport. Who knows what lengths she'll go from here? So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.